Before their divorce, Hollywood famous actors Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt had a large family. They had 6 children, of whom 3 were biological and the other 3 were adopted from different countries. For example, Maddox from Cambodia, Pax from Vietnam, and the little girl Zahara from Ethiopia. These adopted children might have originally had a difficult fate, but after being adopted by them, they began to live a happy life. The family often appears together and are inseparable. Today, the story I want to share with everyone is related to Zahara, the little girl from Ethiopia. Zahara was born on January 8, 2005, in Hawassa, Ethiopia. 7 months later, Angelina Jolie adopted her while traveling with her then-toddler son Maddox. Angelina had previously spoken about how Maddox fell in love with Africa and had been seeking an African brother or sister. When they visited the orphanage, Maddox met Zahara. He felt that she needed care, and Angelina immediately began the adoption process. Angelina Jolie began dating Brad Pitt in 2005, who even accompanied her to Ethiopia during the process of adopting Zahara. Less than a year after Zahara officially joined Angelina's family, Brad himself formally started the legal adoption process for both her and Maddox. In January 2006, a Los Angeles judge approved the couple's name change request, allowing Maddox and Zahara's surnames to be legally changed to Jolie-Pitt. In 2005, when Angelina Jolie adopted Zahara, she was told that Zahara was an orphan, with parents who had died from AIDS. She believed this to be true, and later when appearing on some shows, she introduced Zahara as, "She's from Ethiopia, an AIDS orphan." However, the truth was that the girl's biological mother had not died from the disease. This Ethiopian woman, named Mentuob, was living at her grandmother's house when she was 19 years old. One night, while her grandmother was out, a stranger broke into the house and brutally raped her. Months later, she discovered signs of pregnancy. She was very scared and did not dare to tell her parents. But the signs of pregnancy couldn't be hidden, and when her relatives found out, they all abandoned her. Alone, she went to a nearby town and gave birth to the child. This child was the one who would later be adopted as Zahara. At that time, Zahara was born with severe malnutrition, and the situation was very serious. Mentuob's condition was not much better, as she was also very weak at the time, and most importantly, she had no money to raise the child. Under the persuasion of her parents and relatives, and to save the life of her frail daughter, she had no choice but to find a way to have someone adopt her. Later, in an Ethiopian child adoption agency, Zahara was adopted by Angelina Jolie, and for some unknown reason, the documents showed that her parents died of AIDS. In the 12 years since then, this 31-year-old woman has not received any news about her daughter. She only knows that Angelina Jolie adopted her daughter, but she has received no letters, photos, or money from her, even though the other party was aware of her existence in 2007. Recently, a reporter contacted this woman, and she expressed her wish. She hopes to see her daughter again, even if it's just to hear her voice, as that would already be a comfort. While talking to the reporter, she cried. She said, "I just want her to know that I am still alive and to have a few words with her. I don't want my daughter to come back, I just hope to get in touch with her and talk to her. Angelina has fulfilled the responsibilities of a mother more than I have. She was by Zahara's side when she was still a baby. But that doesn't mean I don't miss her. I think about her every day and hope to hear her voice. For all these years, she has not married or had more children." This woman, living in a remote small town in central Ethiopia, has been living in poverty for many years. The residents of the small town do not have air conditioning, and the greatest luxury here is a small television. Moreover, even with a television, only a few channels can be received. This is where she lives, and her house doesn't even have running water or a toilet. She makes a living by renting out 2 rooms, earning about 120 renminbi per month. And this income might not even be enough for a single lunch for her daughter on the other side of the world. Every move of this daughter is the focus of media reports. Meanwhile, in Ethiopia, the lives of many children of her age are like this. Although education is free, many children cannot go to school because their parents cannot afford the cost of stationery and school uniforms. Even if they can attend school, many have to work while studying to help support their families. Along this muddy road is this mother's house. She has not hung up photos of her daughter in the house because she doesn't want people to know that her daughter was adopted. But hidden in a drawer in her house is a folder containing photos of Zahara and Angelina Jolie, cut out from newspapers and magazines. These cut-out photos are severely worn due to repeated handling. Although Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt have not provided her with any financial support over the years, she says she has never been troubled by this and does not need any financial assistance from them. She simply wants to talk to her daughter. Now, the only way for this mother to learn about her daughter is to occasionally find a way to go online and search for information about her. She follows all the news about Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt's family. It was from her relatives in the United States and from the internet that she learned of the couple's divorce. Concerned about her daughter's future, she hoped to get in touch with them. She hopes that Angelina Jolie can fight for the custody of Zahara and the other children, as she feels that Angelina is a good mother. It is relatively rare for children to initiate contact with their birth parents after being adopted. However, in the United States, when adopted children turn 18, they have the right to track down their biological parents. Angelina has always encouraged Zahara to search for her roots, even taking some of her other children, including Shiloh, Knox, and Vivienne, on a trip to Ethiopia in 2019. To honor Zahara, Angelina took her and Vivienne to meet Sahle-Work Zewde, the first female president of Ethiopia. They discussed topics related to education, programs to help girls continue their studies, as well as Ethiopian culture and history. Angelina also discussed her ongoing efforts to find a cure for drug-resistant tuberculosis through her Zahara program, named in honor of her daughter. In August 2022, Zahara began her education at Spelman College. This year, she joined the Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority, which is the first black sorority in history. Zahara seems to have inherited her mother's passion for philanthropy and humanitarian causes. In December 2022, she accompanied her mom on a 2-day visit to Washington, D.C., where they met with lawmakers to advocate for the protection of crime victims. The mother-daughter duo spoke with members of Congress and the White House about the Justice for All Reauthorization Act of 2022, which would give crime victims access to their reports and evidence of their abuse. However, this wasn't the first time Zahara joined her mom in the Capitol. The previous year, Zahara and Angelina had discussions with advocates and politicians to support the Violence Against Women Act. It's uncertain whether, years later, this girl whose fate was changed will set foot on African soil again to see her mother. And upon this reunion, will this girl, who has lived a completely different life in another country, accept all of this?